Howdy, lieutenants and economists.
The most volatile, evil, disgusting things on the planet, humans. If you have a video request, you can always go to assholeconsulting.com.
Yeah, I am gonna charge you, kids. And that is the importance of not fucking up.
You are such an asshole!
Continuing on with Asshole Consulting, how you kids doing? A young man writes, "Hi Aaron, I'm 30 and moved to San Juan, Puerto Rico this year because I'm doing well financially and want to save on taxes. I gotta figure out what that deal is. I got a buddy whose dad is doing that. I'm like, well, you go to Puerto Rico. I'm like, problem with, this is an aside, but the problem with this, just escape to a Caribbean island for the tax purposes is, then you're stuck on that island. I don't know, me and my buddies, I remember when I was in my 20s, I was always studying the Cayman Islands, the Bahamas, Jersey Island, all that. And I'm like, look at these great tax laws. And then I actually went to the Bahamas one time. Exuma, the island of Exuma. I had a coincidental flight out there. And just one long island. And you can drive up it, and you can drive down it. And you can drive up it, and you can drive down it. And you can drive up it, and down and up and up and down, and you can drive down it. And I was like, oof, that get boring quick. In Puerto Rico, which I know is bigger than Exuma, I mean, I'd imagine after a while that's got to get boring. And I'm just kind of like, no, I need the West. I need to see the road go and end into the horizon, not water there. And I look behind me, there's water there, and there's water there, and oh wait, is it? Oh, there's water there too. Hello, local native. Because I'm doing well financially, blah blah blah. I'm making about $30,000 a month, which is good because a couple of years ago I was broke and making $18,000 a year. I wanted to ask your thoughts on what sort of apartment to live in, what sort of car to buy, and to see if you have any other suggestions. I have no debt and I have about $300,000 in the bank in addition to around $50,000 in my retirement accounts. Good Lord, good man. Currently spending $750 a month on a studio apartment with a view on the beach. It was pre-furnished, so it is sort of worn down. Doesn't bother me, but is that acceptable for bringing chicks to my place? Based on my income, would you suggest upgrading? I wouldn't let your income determine anything with chicks. I'd let your finances determine your rent. And even then, I wouldn't let your finances determine your rent. I would let the philosophy of minimalism determine it. Because you're still operating under the premise that women are only going after men for money, which is true. That is a huge factor for many women, but not all of them. But even if you wanted to go after the girls that are in it for the money, that's the problem. They're in it for the money. So it's a losing proposition. And then let me see, did you tell me about, because I was kind of curious about the market. Well, let's get through it, and then I'll do a little bit of research here. It sounds nice, $750 a month for a studio apartment with a view on the beach. I would have thought it would be a little cheaper, but if you're in the major metro, $750 for a studio apartment with a view of the beach, that doesn't sound bad at all, and it's pre-furnished, and it's perfect for a young man like you. You don't have to move your crap to and fro. So another thing you got to think about the question you're asking. You got to move that then. Doesn't bother me, but is that acceptable for bringing chicks to my place? Based on my income, would you suggest upgrading? I don't have a car yet. I was interested in buying a used Dodge Challenger RT for $20,000 to $30,000, but I can also go the route of a $5,000 driver. I only need it on weekends and to go to MMA practice during the weeks. Oh, that's why you're ripped. I was like, you sent the picture. I'm like, oh, dude, this guy, why is he having trouble with girls? I'm currently Ubering, which costs me less than $300 a month. I want to impress girls, but I don't want to make a dumb decision with my money. What do you think? Thanks. I look forward to hearing back with your quotes. Regards. I don't want to mention your name because you're going to stand on like a sore thumb there. A guy like you with that much cash can and has every right to buy the car that he's always wanted. Now, maybe not a Ferrari, but a Dodge Challenger is certainly within your right to buy. But here you bring up some interesting questions, or I brought up some questions, you brought up some interesting points. But I don't really know. Now, let me go to my questions so we can put it in context. Well, I don't know much about the Puerto Rico and its rental market, but I would presume $750 a month could get you a pretty good place there. But also, how are the chicks? Do you need a Dodge Challenger to impress them, or are they impressed enough with a man who has a job in his own place? Because I always presume Puerto Rico, the girls are like, you know, not all of them, but they're kind of like, oh, wow, you have a job and you have this. Because, no offense, I hear reports coming in how it's like, oh, you're a pregnant single mother. And you don't get married because if you did, then you'd lose your government benefits. And it's like, well, okay, if that's the standards, here comes Mr. Mainlander, who's got a job and is making decent money. It's like, oh, get this guy. So I'm wondering, like, really, do you need a Dodge Challenger? Do you need a fancy place? Or are they impressed with a man who has a job in his own place? Also, is the Dodge Challenger the car you want? You're one of the few people who can actually afford one and it wouldn't bankrupt you. Finally, shoot over a couple pictures so I can see what we're working with physically. If you've got 3 nostrils and 1 eye, it won't matter what car you buy. Which is a great little ditty I'll be recording. I don't really know how the chicks think here. They seem pretty much like girls from LA, a sort of snobby when they're attractive. I see them with muscular guys. I've tried the Tom Likas approach of ignoring them and seem to get attention, but since I'm so tall, 6'5", I think they're too shy to approach me. That's very possible, but girls don't approach guys. You have to approach girls. And 6'5", that's pretty tall. That's pretty tall. I don't think you're on the intimidate. You're going to be intimidating no matter what, but not to the point that a girl would. Your height, the attraction you get out of your height, wouldn't outdo the intimidation your height also causes. In other words, I still think it's a net asset. If you're like 7 feet tall, if you were Will Chamberlain banged a ton of women. But if you were like 7 feet tall, then I'd worry about 6'5". You know, they might think you're a basketball player or something. I still think you're okay on that. But they're not going to approach you. They're not going to approach you. Women don't approach men. That's it. No matter how equal they claim to be, no matter how equal we try to treat them, they will never approach men because it takes courage and you have to face rejection. And you must suffer pain. And they'll just not do it. Because you guys will do it for them. You will always approach. When I talk to them in my Uber rides, they all seem pretty friendly and talkative and curious about where I come from. Over the years, the only girls I've gotten with have come from my social circles. I'm still trying to build that here. I'll attach my pictures below. Oh, alright, so let's deal with the whole thing here. I love the Dodge Challenger RT, though it may be sort of impractical here because the roads can have bad potholes sometimes. Yeah, and the electricity can just go out. I also consider getting a Jeep Wrangler since these are common here. Cars are more expensive here due to the heavy import tax. But in any case, I don't know if spending $30 to $50,000 on a car is worth it or not for me. Especially if you're only there part-time, dude. If you're there for saving tax purposes this year, okay, you're only there for a year. And I'm very against Ubering and taxi cabbing. But it may be worth it in your case. What I'm thinking though, where my mind immediately went was, well, look, you're in Puerto Rico. Why can't you get a motorcycle? That would be the badass cool guy thing to do. It would fit your MMA motif. It fits kind of your, well, you have to get a good sized motorcycle and then just sell it. And then that'd be fun. Just putzing around on the island on a motorcycle. You still got the bad boy image. You're not dealing with it. Oh, but if you got those potholes, those can wipe you out. I still would, as long as you know where the potholes are. I'm intending to go with you on a used Jeep Wrangler, or for now, just a used decent car. Nothing fancy, but just a used decent car. I still like my motorcycle idea if you're careful. But in any case, I don't know if spending $30,000 to $50,000 on a car is worth it for me. I'll pay cash, of course. One thing I wanted to mention is that although my business has been good for a year or so now, it's not guaranteed it could crash any time and I'd have to rebuild. At least you're aware of that. You're not like these people who are making $100,000 on YouTube and then YouTube demonetizes. Oh my God, who knew that was coming? Like, yeah, you're just going to yell at the internet and make money. Who does that? So it's not like I can count on having this income forever. Hope that's not too much info. Thanks for your advice. Okay. Let's go to the original question. Get the context here. Let's look up and see what San Juan rental prices are going for, just so I kind of know. San Juan rental apartments. Home away. Apartments for rent. Zillow. Let's just take a look. Oh my God. Jesus Christ. 4,005, 1,000, 2,000. These got to be the luxury apartments. 5,000, 5,000, 1,000. Am I in the right country? Or island? Yep, there's Puerto Rico. My goodness. Alright, let's go over here. 1,800. Boy, you got to steal if you could see. I'm wondering if this is... Let's try this. Go over here. I'm shocked at prices. You gotta steal, man. I mean, as long as it's clean, that's all right. But I'm looking at rental rates. Here's one for 800. Okay, that's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath. I think a lot of these are luxury condos. Yeah, 6,000. That's gotta be a luxury. Hang on, let's look up average rental rates. Average rent in San Juan, Rent Cafe. The average rent for an apartment in San Juan Capistrano, $2,000. 860 square feet. What in frickson? 1 bedroom, 1,800? Capistrano, is that like the nice neighborhood? Cost of living in San Juan. Updated prices, July 2018. Expatistan. Where's rent? Food, housing. Monthly rent for furnished accommodation, normal area. Monthly rent for a 45 meters squared, 480 feet squared studio in a normal area, 634. Okay, it sounds like you're like in a nice area. I'm just kind of shocked, like, that rent prices are that high. I think you have a pretty good deal. I'm just going to assume you got yourself a nice little 1 bedroom. You don't sound like a big spender. For a studio apartment, yeah, and a view on the beach. I think that's a good deal. That's a good deal. And if you got a view on the beach and it's a studio apartment, that sounds like it's perfectly within market. So it's not a dive. As long as you keep your place clean, you're not where they're shooting each other, I think you're all right. Doesn't bother me, but is this acceptable for bringing chicks to my place? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Based on my income, would you suggest upgrading? No, because now you got to worry about a lease if all of a sudden your business goes south and then you got to split Puerto Rico. And it also operates from the premise that you don't want it to be a dive. And look, you can spruce your apartment up, all right? I lived in a basement. The most I ever got laid, I was living in a basement in a very average blue-collar, lower, middle income neighborhood. It was not a nice part. It wasn't a bad part of town, but it wasn't nice. I lived in a basement. And dude, I just had a nice place. I had a bar I put in, made the bar myself. I had the layout nice. I had okay furniture. It was used. It was hand-me-down. But it was just this really nice place. I had the right type of art up, and it was mine. And I think as long as you're like, no, this is my place. This is what I like. And you put it up, girls are going to like that. You know, if you're into death metal, don't put up death metal posters. You got to think about the ladies a little bit. But I had this nice, kitschy Irish bar on one side, martini lounge on the other side. So when it comes to your apartment, you guys got to stop thinking about spending money. That's going to get you a type of girl, the type you don't want. Okay, and it's an expensive game, and you have more important shit to do with your money. So you have a very fine apartment, as it sounds right now. It's safe, it's clean. That's the major thing. Maybe spruce it up a bit with your own touch. That's it. So that is all I would invest in that. And you got a view on the beach, perfectly fine. Then the car. The car, even though you could afford it, sounds incredibly impractical. And as I said before, I would go with a motorcycle if you're going to get a vehicle. Otherwise, just a decent, the Jeep Wrangler's fine too if you got a used vehicle. I wouldn't go much higher than the Jeep Wrangler. I wouldn't go El Cheapo like I did with the Kia Rio, and there's nothing wrong with the Kia Rio. without power windows or power steering. But maybe, I don't know, Nissan, I presume, is out there, just a standard Toyota, standard okay Japanese car. You could pay cash for it if you wanted. Something that is prudent, fiscally prudent. A nice car, nothing bad. But again, you don't want to succumb to the game of, I want to get this car to impress chicks. Because if you're getting the car to impress the chicks, the only thing that's going to impress them is more money. And you know what? You want to get to the point where your personality and you impress them, because guess what? You is free. You can print off as much you as you want. Hey, would you like some more clary? Here's $1,000 worth of clary, fresh off the printers. You want some more impossible? Have some impossible. It's a movie quote. No one's going to know where it's from. So that's what I would be doing, is focusing more on them. And honestly, or focusing more on yourself and your personality to attract those type of women. But I would not be engaging in the money game. Don't be buying cars to impress chicks. If you want to get the Dodge Challenger, get it. You're the type that deserves it. You worked hard, you entrepreneured, you made your money, you have the cash, you're wise, you're saving some for retirement. So when you get back to mainland states, you absolutely get yourself a used Dodge Challenger for a fraction of the cost you get in Puerto Rico. But now is not the time. And if they're like LA girls and they got, I'm Puerto Rican, okay, all right, I know you are. Okay, good for you. You want my money. You'll get it through a government check, all right? But then, otherwise you ain't getting no more, all right? So just go away. But I would say you don't want to go for those party girls who got the attitude and the lip. You want to go for the nice girl. There's got to be some. Which is why I was kind of surprised when you said they were like from LA. I said, I thought they were more traditional, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm not there. I would just go and date, okay? Go and date. Don't put girls on the high priority. It sounds like you're putting girls on the high priority. Put them down again, all right? You follow like us? You follow like us? You're not putting girls on number one. You're putting them down at like 5 or 6, right? You got so much other cool stuff going on. You're in not a foreign country, but a different part of American culture. Very different, probably the most different. I would explore and have a good time in Puerto Rico. See what the Puerto Ricans do. See what their life is like. Learn to pick up dancing or learn their food. Become a culinary expert in Puerto Rican food. Do that while you're there, okay? I would get a motorcycle, tour around, have fun. Chase girls, certainly chase girls, but don't get too excited about them. Don't invest too much time on any of them. You're practicing MMA, that's awesome, dude. That's awesome. And then you got a business that I'm kind of curious about. I didn't want to ask because I don't want to spill anybody's beans. But you're an entrepreneur, and you got a business, and you have the wisdom to know that might end at any moment. So let's take that wisdom and intelligence and apply it to women, all right? You know that your business could end at any moment. You know these girls are going to after your money, and they're not going to be worth your time. All right? I'm not saying there aren't good girls out there. There are. But you're not going to find them wasting your time getting a fancy car and attracting those type of moths to a flame. And you're a good-looking dude. I mean, you're tall. Your haircut probably could use a little bit of something different. You're skinny, but you ain't skinny fat. Yeah, you are an MMA fighter. Haircut is a minor thing. I wouldn't worry about it. But yeah, you shouldn't. There's nothing physically wrong with you at all. So you don't need to work out. What I would do is just put women second, fourth, seventh, and go live your life and enjoy it. All right. And if the girls are like, they seem pretty much like girls from LA, sort of snobby when they're attractive, you don't want that. If that's what it's like, again, I'm not there, I can't report. But if they're like it and they're not just like, oh, would you like to come to my house and I'll make you dinner, which I've got a buddy, he knows a ton of Filipino women, they're always cooking. I'm at his place, they're always cooking, they're asking me if I'd like something. I'm like, well, yeah, I would. And he's just like, hey, I'm going to smoke a cigar. Fix me up this and that. Like, okay, I love you. And I'm like, what? That's what I was thinking it would be like. But if Puerto Rico was like LA, you want nothing to do with that, man. You want nothing to do with that. So I would not be buying assets, expensive assets, to chase women in Puerto Rico. I wouldn't be buying assets to chase women anywhere. My life is too short, and by God, I'm too great of a guy. The girl should like you for you. And you got enough going on here that you're an interesting enough fellow that a smart girl, or at least an intelligent girl, should pick up on that. And they're the rare ones. The smart ones are the rare ones. And they will find it. So do your thing. You know, all of a sudden there's a girl at the M&A, she's watching you on your match in your ring, or you're just sparring, and that's the type of girl. Or you're on your motorcycle. You join a motorcycle club in Puerto Rico, and there's a girl in the morning, she's working on her bike. Hey, how you doing? Oh, what are you doing? Is that interesting? That's where I think you're going to find a better quality gal. But if you're just looking to bang, I'm sure there's clubs. I'm sure you could wear, maybe one thing you could do for a capital investment is maybe wear fancier clothes. But even then, I wouldn't even invest that time and money. So yeah, fine, get a car for now. No, don't get a new apartment. Jeep Wrangler used sounds good, but don't put the emphasis on women right now, especially the rich, hot women that only happen to go out with guys that have money. Because you can save that money right now. What you got? Look, you're basically effectively retired. You play this right. You come back to the States. You make a little bit of money. Let's say this thing only lasts another 6 months. Dude, you come back to the States. You can buy your dream car used for 25, 30 grand. You'll still have $300,000, $400,000 in the account. You can buy a nice, modest home and have a significant amount of money put into a 401k or a Roth IRA. Maybe not immediately. You'd have to invest that over the course of the years. You're set. And then you could practice MMA till your heart's content. You could do what you could. Let's say you learned you love motorcycles in Puerto Rico. Now you got the United States mainland. Holy cow, that'll take you at least a decade. You can have that life, or you can try to impress the hot gold-digging whores of Puerto Rico. I know obviously which is going to be a more enjoyable experience. It'd be the first one. So don't let beauty override this brain with this one. All right? Don't screw up your position. You're in a great position right now, man. Girl throws herself at you, well, of course. But I do not buy assets to impress women. I don't. I learned skills and all that. That's maybe why I don't impress them anymore. Anyway, all right, that's what I recommend. Your apartment's fine. Get an okay car, Jeep Wrangler maybe, but don't get your Dodge Challenger, and stop with the pursuit of spending money to impress chicks. All right, good. All right, you guys got questions? Cappy, America's older brother, has answers. Over at assholeconsulting.com. Check out the links below, and also check out the other site, which is under construction, but you can still link. It's still functional. olderbrother.com. Tune into the Older Brother podcast, which has the same RSS feed as the Clary podcast. Just search either. You will find them. We'll talk to you kids later. Toodles.